Hey everyone, welcome back to the Archangel 15. I wanted to start a fire in a different way of sorts, what have you. I show you this red candle that I have, my Russian Orthodox candle. Tomorrow, Sunday, is actually Russian Orthodox Easter. It's celebrated on a different day. They celebrate Christmas on a different day and other holidays as well. It represents the bloodline of Jesus Christ and the bloodline of divinity, the suffering, and basically our salvation that we obtain through, Christ giving his life for our sins. Like I said, through John 3:16, if you're not familiar with this. Anyhow, I want to talk about like a list of things that I find to be the biggest lies taught in school still. I mentioned that I was going to go to the White House and hold a sign doing this just to basically exercise my First Amendment rights. And I talked to Filippo about it. He said he was the one that kind of gave me the idea. And the truth is I'm not wasting my time, the remaining days I have on this earth, doing that. Like I said, what got me down there was Trump. Like, I didn't even have to go down to the White House during the Obama years. But Trump, like I said, like, it was a fight. And, like, in my opinion, a real fight. And a fight that I feel very, very proud to have basically won. And I, like, basically think that he conceded at this point. I don't think you're going to hear too much about him. And, like, you're going to see it's going to get real ugly. Probably public executions. Anyhow, so I'm going to start here. Law of conservation of energy. Biggest lie. The oil industry, no bigger fraud. Like I said, the Tesla Corporation. Like I said, wait until you see what the Sukhoi Corporation brings out, and others. Like I said, the Chinese. Like I said, the real free energy, not some rechargeable battery crap. And a lot of this stuff was always classified under national security. I really believe that other countries would have nuked us into oblivion if we ever attempted to bring it out. There's innumerable people that really came pretty close. I have separate presentations on this channel. They actually removed one of them because I mentioned something about little Dick Boy Barron. Back in the day, that was a real big deal, and I had a whole presentation removed for it. Now I can say whatever I want to say, but magnets emit an eternal field of energy that basically the energy that went into them, like I said, it's eternal. It can create free energy. Let's just leave it at that. What else do you need to say? And like if you take a field of current and some copper wire, you can do it. Like I said, you can basically get free energy out of them. Like I said, if you understand how a stator works, or a generator, or an alternator. I'm currently reading stuff on Michael Faraday. There's a lot of luminaries in this space. James Clerk Maxwell, Michael Faraday, Nikola Tesla. Amazing men. And like I said, Nikola Tesla, I believe, had like 18 to 37 different ways to attain getting free energy, not just one. Like literally, they had this famous experiment where he stuck a light bulb in the ground. Like, you can get it from the Schumann resonance of the Earth. And the closest that I've been able to. I won't work on it in this house because, like I said, I don't own this house, and like I said, I don't want somebody to like eventually take this over. Like, oh, this is where he did it. Like, I'll go to Russia and China before I do that. Like, I know I can do it. I know exactly how to do it. I'm close. I'm real close. I've been able to take 2 cell phones. And on a side note, I talk about the book, The Body Electric. There's this thing called electromedicine, deep, huge suppression. I actually have that on here about medicine. That's one of them. Is Western medicine is a really big one. So I'm gonna go to that in a minute. But I've been able to put the speakers and phones have magnets in them. And I've been able to get the cell phones to stay on just by putting like 2 phones together for like almost like 3-4 weeks. And like I said, I really don't want to go any further than that here. And I have a whole bunch of other ideas. And like, to be honest with you, electric isn't really the answer. Like, I really believe that they're going to find in time that the Teslas are causing infertility, that they're causing cancer rates. Like, there's no scientific research that's been done on the deleterious effects of having that much current around your body. Like I said, they're having horrible issues with the flooding that's going on. They're having horrible issues with other things. Like, it's really the batteries are really toxic. It's like when you first buy that car, the second time you charge a battery, it's never going to be as good as the first time, and every time less and less. They're garbage. It's trash. It's like a conspiracy. Like, they don't want you to go any further than 220 miles. Absolute joke. Okay, that's number 1. Law of conservation of energy, biggest, and debunked, not even debated. The Amazon River being the longest river. I have a whole separate presentation I just did. It's not the longest river. The Liana River is the longest river. And also, the Liana River flows south to north. And like, please, I don't really talk about that too much. Like, it's more of a concern. But just know that the Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov got his name from the Atlantic River. And that eventually, like, with all the flooding and rain that keeps happening, America's going to, like, Putin has this advisor that said America's going to turn into a strait named after Stalin. It's going to be named after Lenin. And it's going to be because of them suppressing this and other things as well. And it's happening. Like, you're going to see Florida's going to get cut off from, like, the mainland. And, like, a whole bunch of other stuff's going to happen. There's been other great floods besides the Great Bible. Blavatsky talked about it. It's like a reoccurring theme. In addition to other geodetic events that are going to occur. Okay, moving on. The U.S. won the Cold War. Another big lie. Actually, Ronald Reagan was a fraud. In my opinion, a closet pedophile, some other closet pedophiles, and he devised a 40-year succession plan to basically allow the middle class of America to build up the infrastructure in coastal communities so that the Russians and Chinese could take them over and that they didn't have to do a thing. That's just the truth. Like I said, they've like allowed like mind control programs to do this and other things as well. Moon landing, huge. Like I said, this is a real contentious one, but to be real, like I did a presentation in Russia, in Moscow, in the Russian Space Museum. How hardcore is that? I wanted to do an interview, but because of the language barrier, wouldn't have been very much production value to it, so I didn't do that. But I give the whole thing there, like the whole thing. Basically, the kids that work at NASA and bleed our country dry of trillions of dollars, and they use this money for underground bunker, nuclear warfare stuff, eugenics programs, and so when they go to Europe on their fancy European vacations, they don't tell the Europeans, "Oh, I work for the Air Force, the United States Air Force. I work for NASA or Army or the Navy." That would look too bad. I work for NASA, like it's something to be proud of. And like, just please watch my video on that. I talk about the whole thing. Okay, Western medicine, the biggest fucking disgrace to humanity ever. From like if you take any kind of medication, I ask you just look at the ingredients of what you're taking. There's only, like, in my opinion, like 6 drugs that are prescribed, maybe not even, that are good. Like, to be honest with you, your body, like, essentially the reason I don't like the medicine is it basically diminishes the regenerative effects, like the amazingly beautiful regenerative effects or abilities that we possess as humans. The book, The Body, ties into the book, The Body Electric, talks about, like, amazing, my all-time favorite book. Amazing stuff. The Body Electric, but Dr. Robert Becker and Gary Selden gets into electronic warfare, which is another one. But I really believe that he wanted to talk about the use of magnets, and that like basically like you can actually use them on your body. If you're a man, you put them near your testicles, you can like feel it. Like you have chakras on your body, and just other stuff. I have a whole suppressed medical science series on my channel, a whole suppressed series. Start with that. Like it's hours of information, like cutting edge. I've actually ran out of stuff to talk about. I have nothing else. Like I ran out pretty much of Archangel 15 worthy medical suppressions. Free markets. They teach in schools that we have this free open markets, economies, democracies, that everybody has an equal chance and this and that, and it's basically controlled and dominated by rich people to create a slave race of people so that a whole bunch of rich kids don't have to work, and that they can basically sit on their private islands and do what they want to do, and that like you keep chasing your tail and voting every 4 years for basically the biggest conspiracy of all time is that people vote every 4 years for their slave master. And like I said, the rich kids could not get away with this if you weren't in a daze, if you weren't eating poisoned food, and so forth. Like stock market, like I said, what they teach about that, absolute rubbish. Like I said, complete lie. The truth is, S&P 500 companies do not need or want your money for investment. Or R&D. They have already ideas thought of 20, 30 years in advance. They have, like I said, they can borrow money for next to nothing. Like I said, they do not need or want your money. It's part of a system that you're buying into, and it's an evil system at that. It's slavery. And like I said, we're the people that have been in the system for a long time have an exceedingly unfair advantage over those who are just coming in. And a system like this will always, ladies and gentlemen, collapse from the top down by the design of God. And it's just how things work. Democracy and choice. Like I said, every 4 years, America equals communism. It's pretty much put it like that. And no matter who they put in for a candidate, they're all ass puppets for the Koch brothers and a small group of other people who think that they're gods and control the world. They played this whole game with Obama. It's this bipartisan divide and conquer tactic they use, and it's a tale as old as time, and it works really, really well. And like I said, there's like 4 to 6 contentious issues, from abortion to gun control, to like where you're either Democrat or Republican. You can't go either way. There could never be a polarizing figure in the middle like me. Somebody who's like a libertarian, a constitutionalist, and so forth. There's like 6 different types of libertarians. Just know that as well. Not all libertarians are the same. But yes, it is possible to attain liberty under law. COVID, this is becoming a big one. Like, for some reason, they don't like people talking about this, but COVID equals nuclear warfare, and vaccines equal Nazis. And like when it's all said and done, Johnson & Johnson Corporation is going to go down really, 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 really bad, and others as well. Next one, Russia and China are bad. Like I said, it's like, I don't want to say they teach this in schools now, but like it was like I can almost guarantee that like anybody who's my age or even a little bit younger has had a time where there's teachers that basically tried to like indoctrinate this notion that Russia and China are bad. Guaranteed. This is Filippo's one. Pearl Harbor. The bombing at Pearl Harbor was a bombing on an independent Polynesian country. Hawaii was not a state until 1959. Fact. I really don't need to say anymore. Like, big one. He also was saying that the Wright brothers did never put an engine on a plane. There's like this deeper understanding of like suppressed information from various past worlds, and Trump kind of tied into this. But like the Swiss aren't the end game, and Bill Gates isn't the end game, and Trump's not the end game, and these people are getting ran in the ass real hard right now. They really don't like it. It feels really good. Suppression of amazing luminaries like Michael Faraday. There's really not a more amazing man. He like his work, like I said, the electric life of Michael Faraday, like basically the father of electricity almost. Like he just absolutely amazing man. You must know who he is. And like he actually discovered benzene. He actually was the first to liquefy chlorine. Like all kinds of other stuff that he was into, and like he like could basically prove the workings of God through nature. And no other like Michael Faraday. Absolutely amazing. And then like honestly, maybe he had information from past worlds, but I don't think he did. He didn't even have 2 years of education. And he was like dirt floor poor. And like they don't like it that somebody could have 2 years of education and be as amazing as him. They want you to think you have to go to college and play this game. And kind of ties into the next one. Franklin discovered electricity. Benjamin Franklin, I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, did not discover electricity. I'm just gonna leave it at that. There's it's not in the nature of Eastern philosophy, Eastern medicine, this Chinese or Buddhism to go out and put their like everything has to be, every street has to have a person's name on it or whatever. Like it's like narcissism. The electronic warfare, I have a presentation I did on this channel from the United States Naval Surface Warfare Center. Like the biggest conspiracy of all time, that like essentially areas where the bourgeoisie and working class people live are basically in a I don't even know how to put it. They're basically hit with certain frequencies that basically enslave you. And it's like the book The Body Electric talks about it, and where the wealthy people live, you can feel a difference. It's like really scary and really bad. Plastic water bottles, the very first presentation I ever did on this channel. I take a plastic water bottle and pour it out on a piece of glass. You can clearly see the petrochemical residue, and it's not good. It doesn't belong in your body. If it was clean, pure water, it would not have that in it. And like I said, it almost etches to the glass. It's not like you can, it like literally almost etches to the glass. It's real serious. Huge conspiracy. People live 80 years. Like what you would consider a normal lifespan, 80, 90, 100 years. The truth is the potential to exist. Like I'm 38, like I said, and I seem like I'm getting younger. And like a lot of there's like 3 parts to it. Basically, one part is genetic, big part, probably the most important to start with a good foundation. Number 2 is environmental, which is like kind of gets into the psychological state. Like if your environment's good, your psychological state's going to be good. You know, what you eat, what you drink, where you sleep. You know, like the air you breathe. You know, a lot of factors. You know, like environmental is a real big one. And the third one is the quantum, or just the unknown, or God. Like I said, like why do people that smoke all their life live to be 100, and people who never smoked a day in their life die of lung cancer? It's just like I said, it's really interesting fact. And faith kind of comes into it as well. The ABRH negative bloodline, Roman, like I said, there was like, I mentioned how I don't like to show ancient aliens. There are like 6 things that they didn't talk about. Like almost no, but like you can search or look up anything you want to know or see on the internet. Pretty much anything. And stuff relating to the ABRH negative bloodline is as scant as it gets. There's like nothing. Very, very, very little. And it's by design. Which ties into my last one, that everybody is equal. And like it's scientifically proven that like everybody is not equal. There's like, I could do a whole presentation on that alone, but it's just a fact. I don't want to go any further than this. Filippo and me basically came to the conclusion that we would need to do volumes if we wanted to do this. These are just some of the best ones. But what you need to do is you need to ask yourself where one lie exists. Like the Amazon River being the longest, almost everybody took that to be a standard. There's got to be others. Like I said, when you accept that you've been lied to, it's very liberating. Like you realize, like I said, there's more lies, and you start asking questions, and then you become a threat to them, and then you stop eating their shit, and you move on. And like I said, you realize who's good and who's bad, and that the people that they made our whole life look bad are actually the good ones, and vice versa. And it's like you start trying to demonize people. You eventually infect their consciousness, and not only that, but you make them stronger. You make them more resilient. You make, like I said, badass people. And I leave you with this today. Like I said, I'm done. Like I said, tomorrow is Russian Easter, Russian-Ukrainian Easter. I want to maybe Zelensky change the date on that too. There's a lot of stuff going on geopolitically. I'm going to maybe still bring you some of my Archangel 15 shows. I recently just started the Stormfront back. If Don Black is out there, please try to contact me. I'd like to collaborate with you. The Southern Poverty Law Center shutting down, and I'm bringing it back. So hopefully you don't have any issues with that. I'm not going to get too extreme with that, but like we're going to try to keep it based in science and fact. And anyways, you take care. Talk to you later, folks. God bless.